when Brachot Acharonot should be said at the Seder?
Good question. All right. Well, in theory, this would apply to more than one thing. So let's speak first about the cups of wine. With regards to the Arba Kosoth, I'm not sure if this is one of the questions here, but I'll just explain very briefly. The Arba Kosoth, there is even a mahloket amongst the Rishonim whether each of the 4 Kosoth requires its own Borei Pri Hagafen, but most agree that each one requires its own bracha. But more of the real question is, does one therefore also need to make a bracha Acharonot on each kos after drinking each kos? There are different opinions. The opinion that I follow, which I recommend, which is also one of the opinions that the Rif brings 2 opinions. One is that you only need to make the bracha Acharonot for wine at the end of the Seder, after 4 kosoth. The other opinion he brings is that you make the bracha after the 2nd and after the 4th. It seems to me, and there are other Rishonim who also speak about making the bracha only at the end. This is also the minhag roeach. This is the general minhag of all of Am Yisrael. This is also the opinion of Rabbi Gaon and others. So, with regards to wine, one does not need to make a bracha Acharonot after each of the kosoth, because one intends to drink later, and only at the end of the Seder, after the 4th kos, does one need to make the bracha ala gefen. So what else does that leave us? That leaves us the yarakot, the yarak that we eat at the beginning of the meal. There are those who say that you must eat kazait. There are those who say that you do not need to eat a kazait. If you don't need to eat a kazait, then you also don't have to make if you eat in fact less than a kazait, then you don't have to. You wouldn't have to make a bracha. Practically, I don't see how you can even eat less than a kazait, because kazait is so small. It's 3 cc, which is a very small amount, about a quarter of a normal adult-sized bite, shall we say, or at least a third. That's why we find in the Gemara, in the Masechet Karetoth, that Bet HaBli'a Mahazik Shalosha Zetim. So, I think and there are also those who say that you have to eat more than a kazait of the yarak, because otherwise it's not considered an achila bichlal. Anything less than a kazait is as if you didn't really eat anything at all, because it's so small. So I think you should eat a kazait of the yarakot, and yes, I think you should say borena fashot after having done so, because it's before hamosi, and there's a long time before the seudah, so it's a separate inyan. And this is what Rav Saadia Gaon writes in his Sidur. So that's what I recommend with regards to the yarakot.
Thank you, Rabbi Bar-Hayim. We would like to encourage our viewers to share these videos with friends and send in your responses. We would also like to suggest the following opportunity to our viewers. If you identify with Rabbi Bar-Hayim's message and would like to sponsor or dedicate a video interview with the rabbi in honor or memory of a loved one, if you would like to obtain Birkon Nusach Eretz Yisrael or invite the rabbi for a speaking engagement, please email us at office@machonshilo.org. If you are inspired by Rabbi Bar-Hayim's message and would like to get involved in Torah Eretz Yisrael activities in your local area, please fill out the relevant form by going to the link which appears on the screen.